Hi, my name is Layton John, and I'm a longtime board member of the RHI Foundation, as well as a hospital board here at RHI. And I'm here today to interview and discuss a few objectives with Dr. Neumann, the Director of Research at RHI. Good morning.
Good morning, Layton. Hey, everybody.
Before we get started, I want to recognize our champion sponsors, Wilson Keel and Winningham here in Indianapolis, National Seating and Mobility, and of course our wonderful CEO and his lovely wife, Dan and Cheryl Voloshin, longtime supporters and donors of RHI and RHI Foundation. If you don't know RHI, I assume you do if you're here, but RHI is a global leader in research, global leader in traumatic brain injury research and stroke research. So Dr. Neumann, please today tell us about the new research directive we have here at RHI.
Absolutely, but before I do that, I do want to take a moment to say a quick thank you to the RHI Foundation for all of the support that they have provided over the years for research. We would not be able to be that global leader in research if it wasn't for the RHI Foundation, and just super appreciative and grateful that they are supporting this newest research endeavor, which is basically to become a spinal cord injury model systems hospital. And if you are like most people, you probably actually don't know what that is. But a spinal cord injury model systems is a federally funded grant program. And it is highly competitive and highly selective. It is a research grant that comes around once every 5 years. And currently there are only 14 sites in the nation that hold this title. And essentially when this grant comes around, basically they only award institutions and researchers who are perceived to be and who are known to be global national leaders in rehabilitation research and patient care for people with spinal cord injuries. And so it's important to know that, so with the spinal cord injury model systems, the overall objective is ultimately to maximize outcomes for people with spinal cord injury. Essentially to make advances in rehabilitation to help people with spinal cord injury live the best lives that they absolutely can, whatever that is. And the really nice thing about model systems is that it really is they look at a person as a whole. It's not just about the medical, but it's about everything. Getting people back in, with their families and back doing what they love. So it's really exciting. I think that lots of advances have been made in spinal cord injury care over the years, but I think it's pretty clear that there's still a long way to go and we can do a lot better. And we do this through research. And spinal cord injury model systems does this in 3 ways. One of those ways is through their longitudinal database. So essentially when somebody is a spinal cord injury model systems hospital, they have to enroll patients at the hospital, and we collect data about those patients to understand them and their injury and their needs, and we follow them throughout the course of a lifetime to understand those evolving needs of patients with spinal cord injury so that we know what those needs are, we could come up with the research that we need to meet those needs, and then just make sure that we're having better outcomes. So the Spinal Cord Injury Model Systems database, it is the largest and the longest going one in the entire world, which is really, really cool. The second way in which we do this, or the Spinal Cord Injury Model Systems does this, is through each site is required to conduct rigorous and innovative research, both locally at their site as well as collaboratively with the other institutions. And these are the greatest minds in the world, so that's a really unique position to be in, to be able to work with these brilliant people. And then the third way is through training and education. So the other really cool thing about the model systems is that they make sure that research and the information and the knowledge learned doesn't just sit up on a shelf, but that it actually gets into the hands of the people that it needs to get to. So basically making sure that what we learn, that education, we're getting that information out as quick as possible to the family members, to the patients with spinal cord injury, to the clinicians treating spinal cord injury, and to policymakers changing policy. So this is how spinal cord injury really facilitates and expedites and accelerates kind of that, getting that research to immediate patient care and outcomes.
Wonderful. Sounds very powerful, actually.
It is.
So you mentioned there's 14 hospitals in the country that are model systems right now in spinal cord injury. We at RHI are also model system in traumatic brain injury. How many have both? How many sites in the country have both?
It's a very elite group. There are only 6 right now
Wow.
that have both a traumatic brain injury and a spinal cord injury model system designation. So you can imagine how cool that would be.
Fantastic.
We've done so much with that TBI model system.
That'd be wonderful for Central Indiana and patients everywhere. Help me understand. So we're trying to raise funds today, and I heard you say grant. So we're trying to raise funds towards this grant. How does the fundraising efforts help the grant process?
Absolutely. So, like I said, it's a highly selective process, right? And so they are only awarding these grants to people that are seen and known to be leaders in spinal cord injury model systems. And the thing is, we have the talent, we have the researchers and the brilliant minds here. But so do other places. We're not the only place with brilliant minds. And so we need to do something to set ourselves apart. And one of the things that we can do to set ourselves apart is to have the most cutting edge technology that there is. And so our primary goal here, so we are big promoters. If you guys have seen some of the stuff that Dr. George Hornby has done, you're gonna be hearing from him. I know he did the RHI, the RHI, but ultimately we want to get equipment to help promote and improve mobility and walking after spinal cord injury. And the thing is, the technology is out there and it is growing and it's advancing so quickly. It's like space age stuff, but it's also super expensive.
Sure,
right?
Of course.
I mean, so if we can access this technology, this would just really give us the leading edge, because if you think about it, it's only designated to a select few because the funding is limited. We need to do something to put ourselves ahead of that competition. And having this technology combined with our brilliant minds, I mean, that's actually a win-win combination. And the thing about this technology too, the other win-win about it is that we get this technology here to help people back to walking. Our patients and clinicians can benefit from it immediately. So then not only are our patients and clinicians benefiting from it immediately, but then it's giving us this leading edge and poising us for success to get this spinal cord injury model systems grant, which then just accelerates the opportunities that we have for more research, the collaborations, et cetera, and the number of people that we can help. I don't know if you know this, but in Indiana, right now, 30,000 people in Indiana living with a spinal cord injury.
Wow.
And every year, more people are enduring a spinal cord injury. So if we can have access to this information, the amount of people that we can help is just phenomenal, both here in Indiana, in the surrounding areas, but then also globally. But I think going back to the most important thing I do want to drive home is that grants typically don't pay for this hugely expensive equipment. That's
Sure.
That's just the way it is. It's just it's almost like they need the evidence before they can fund things, right? And so it's hugely important to have donors like you, generous donors like you, to be able to be, donating your money to help us get this equipment to prove ourselves and to make sure that our patients are benefiting faster.
Thank you very much. I think you can tell by her enthusiasm. She does a great job around here. We would love to encourage you to donate. I've been a longtime donor of RHI and the foundation, as is Dr. Neumann. Please click the link, share on Facebook, invite others to donate as well, and please help spinal cord injury patients locally, Central Indiana, as well as globally with our research efforts in the grant process. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.